Do you struggle to get organized because you keep telling yourself things like, I'll do it when I'm motivated, or I need a whole weekend to tackle this project? Well, you're in luck because today we are talking about the six biggest organizing myths and what actually works here on Get Organized with Jodi. Hi, I'm Jodi Granock. I'm a certified professional organizer and the owner of Organizing Magic LLC. Let's get started. Our first myth is that I need to get motivated before I can get organized. That's probably the biggest myth that I hear. People think motivation comes first and action comes second, but in reality, it's usually the opposite. Action creates motivation. Think about exercising. Most people don't wake up excited to work out, but once they start moving, they usually feel better and then they keep going. And organizing works exactly the same way. If you wait until you're in the mood, you could be waiting a very long time. So instead, give yourself permission to work for just 10 minutes. What can you do during those 10 minutes? You can sort a drawer. You can clear off a shelf. You can put away 10 items, maybe 20. But once you get started, your brain will begin to see progress, and that progress often creates the motivation that you were waiting for. So don't wait for the motivation, create it. All right, let's go to myth number two. I have to organize everything. Well, that idea will overwhelm people before they even get started. You don't have to organize your entire house this weekend. In fact, I don't even recommend that. So, what I do recommend is that you ask yourself one question. And that question is, what space is causing me the most stress? Right now, what's bothering me the most? Maybe it's the kitchen counter. Maybe it's the closet. Maybe it's a pile of papers on your dining room table. Whatever the answer is to that question, start there. Because if you organize the spaces that frustrate you the most, that's going to give you the biggest payoff. Remember, we don't want you to create a home that looks like it's out of a magazine, right? We're not going for perfection here. It just needs to work for you. And sometimes good enough is exactly what success looks like. So let's go on to myth number three. Buying organizing products will solve my problem. Look, I'm a fan of organizing products. I have plenty of them myself, but clutter is not solved by having a container. A container is just going to organize clutter you already have if you don't do anything else. I've seen my clients spend hundreds of dollars on beautiful baskets and bins and drawer organizers, but that just becomes aspirational clutter, right? It's clutter if you don't know what to do with it. It's just adding to what you already have. So before you go out buying the perfect storage container, you've got to decide what you're even keeping first, right? So declutter first. And then take measurements of the spaces that you're trying to organize things into, right? Then, if you don't already have the things within your own home to begin with, you can buy containers knowing that it's going to be exactly what you want. It's going to be for a certain space and it's going to be perfect for the items that you've chosen to keep because otherwise you're just putting clutter in pretty boxes. Let's go on to myth number four. If I put it away, I'll never find it again. Yeah, I hear that all the time. People often leave things sitting out because they think if I put it away, I will forget where things are. But as you can see from this photo with my client, that the problem with that thought is that after a while, you've got everything left out and nothing is easy to find. So you're not really solving a problem by leaving things out. If you have a good organizing system, it's not going to hide your belongings. It's going to give them a logical home. We're looking for places to keep your stuff where you would think this is where I would go when I want to use this item, and then you know where to put it away. So keep like-minded, similar items together, store them where you naturally use them. And of course, I'm a big fan of labeling. I've talked about it in many of my videos. And with many of my clients, that is usually the step that they forgot. Label, label, label. It holds everyone accountable. It makes it much easier for everyone to find things and to put things away. And most importantly, always put things back in the same place, which is where the labels can be very helpful. The goal is not to remember where something is today. The goal is to never have to wonder tomorrow. Let's go to myth number 5. Getting organized means getting rid of everything. No. People sometimes think that a professional organizer is going to want you to throw everything out, and that's simply not true. Organizing isn't about owning less, it's about knowing what you own. It's about finding what you need when you need it. It's about reducing the stress in your home and in your life. It's about making your home function better. Doesn't that sound good? If you truly use it, if you genuinely love it, and if you have room for it, keep it. The goal is not to have empty shelves. The goal is to have an organized life. That's a big difference. Our last myth, number 6, I need a whole day to organize. This resonates with almost everyone. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is believing they need, for example, a whole Saturday to get organized. And I call this the magical unicorn of time, that the reason people don't do larger projects is because they think they have to go from start to finish instead of working things in chunks and smaller steps. Most organizing projects fail because they don't fail because they take too long. They fail because people never get started. And it's because they're trying to do too much, in my opinion. I think it's much better to chip away at these larger projects because that's how you get them done. So we're talking about 10 or 15 focus minutes. You can accomplish way more doing chunks of 10 or 15 minutes over a series of days than waiting for that perfect day that is never going to come. Organizing is built one drawer, one shelf, one habit at a time. You know, the biggest organizing myth of all is believing that organized people are somehow different from everybody else, but they're not. They aren't naturally more disciplined. They've simply just developed systems and habits that make everyday life easier. And that is something that anyone can learn. And hopefully, this video has helped you to do that. I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below, which organizing myth have you believed, or which one do you hear most often? I would love to have you check out organizingmagic.com for more organizing resources, including our free e-newsletter and information about our monthly Zoom webinars, which are also free. And remember that new videos drop every Friday, so be in the know and click like and subscribe before you go so you never miss a single video. I'll see you next time.